What's up, guys? What's up? I don't normally even really trade the NFP, but maybe I can give you guys some insights here. It's gonna be a sell? No idea, dude. Today's NFP will be brutal, eh? I'm gonna Jeremy cash my account with 1 minute strings. Yeah, man, that's just funny. I didn't even expect that video to be that stupid. I thought it was gonna be something like a moving average or like some sort of like weird indicator. It was just the dumbest strategy I've ever seen. Turn off, I gotta stop doing this other thing here. Okay. Streaming on Discord before this. Forgot to turn it off. It's a bank holiday. Maybe this NFP won't be that crazy. Glad to hear it. Monkey magic, learning every day. Learning every day. Same with me. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Hunter whispers. That's why we're starting a little bit early. The news will be about 40 minutes here, so I think we'll just do a little bit of chatting, a little bit of hanging out, and we'll talk about NFP, and then we'll see what actually happens, and then we'll call it a day. Call it a week. Haven't actually really traded at all this week, but call it a week on the end of Friday. Because, you know, sometimes when you work for yourself, sometimes you just don't want to work. Nobody's gonna make you. Sometimes we just watch TV, hang out. Started watching your channel, super helpful, dude. Just got into Forex with a small account and you've helped a lot. Keep up the good work. I appreciate it, man. Young Peso. Young Peso. Sounds like a Mexican rapper name. Invite Trader Nick here. Yeah, I gotta do a reaction to Trader Nick's video next. I want to do one on Ricky Gutierrez. Oh crap, I gotta turn this thing on, don't I? Yeah, I want to do one on Ricky Gutierrez, because he was the one that made me think about this whole video series to begin with. There's one video in particular that I want to make fun of. Well, oh, you just blew an account from gold? Oh, that's not good, man. That's not good. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Hey, let me turn off this fucking shitty background music that's not even music. Okay, here. let's look at EU here real quick. 1 second here. Okay, you might be able to short this. You might be able to short this, guys, here right now, actually. If you want to look at this here, we were going to look for a long here after it was breaking up, and the reason, quite obviously, I posted this in the Discord here. We had this swing low previous here, and we completely swept it. Unfortunately, we didn't come back for a retest here at all, and it made perfect sense actually why we didn't. If you look at the 1 minute, you can see, I'll just draw a box here and I'll move it around. You can see, boom, that zone retested here, right? Can I move this somehow? There we go. And then this zone retested right there, this zone retested. So it made perfect sense that it wouldn't even come back. So that's completely fine. But if we're looking here, we might be able to see a short scalp here. Hold up 1 sec. The short scalp would be probably from this line right here. And then the stop is quite obviously up here. Let me just see. Why do we want to short this? All right. We have a major downtrend. You might be able to short this. Okay. So first of all, it's a major downtrend. I just got to kind of gather my bearings here. If you short it from here, you might be able to target something like this. Hold up. Give me a second here. We gotta think about it. Okay, so basically what's happening here, so we have that major downtrend, right? And we're just re-entering the trend basically. So let me draw here. Oh, fucking shit. So we closed below here, right? You see this? Hold on. I'll explain in a second. Okay. Cool. So we have this major downtrend here, and there's not really any reason for us to believe that this rally would make much sense, right? This was the level that brought us down to the lows, essentially. That was the previous base that we'd have to break up from, and you're kind of just seeing what looks to be a fake out in a sense here, right? Where it's gone back up and it's actually just dumped back down completely within the range. So it's not super strong. It's not like this isn't something I'm hard set on, but you can see that it's quite clear that this could have just been a sweeping of the stops. We're retesting kind of this area, and then we're coming back down here. So it's just kind of an idea right now. It's not something that's crazy strong. We've then formed this base that's obviously been broken right here, right? And if we're just kind of thinking about this was the previous high, we swept those highs and then dumped back down. So we're now back into this downtrend, which is also here. So if we come up for a little retrace, and where would we retrace to? Well, quite obviously the previous supply zone right here, this one, right? So you could do a really tight short scalp like that, and then we would just be targeting probably here or here, something like that probably, right? So maybe let's I am bearish on the euro yen already, and I'll explain that to you in a second here. Let me just put a small order because I'm not completely sure. What is this, 0.04? 0.04%. Give me a second here. Actually, you know what? We only have 30 minutes. I'm not even gonna do this. We only have 30 minutes. I don't think it's worth it. I completely I'm friggin' forgetting something. Okay, what's up, guys? Hey, good morning. Look at all of these pairs. NFP today. What do you think? Yeah, so that's why we're starting the stream just a little bit early today. I think this is likely that it could happen before the NFP or just to down here or something. But I'm not completely sure. And I think we'll just skip it because NFP is in 30 minutes. But something like this could happen, right? but you guys can see why you've kind of flipped bias, hopefully. But the bullish side, I'm a little bit more bullish here coming into the NFP, because 9 times out of 10 I've seen over the past year that the trend of the week with the US dollar pairs, they always reverse on NFP. So if we're in a downtrend, NFP is going to make it go up. That's just what I've noticed over the past year or so. And so mind to blow from gold, keep going up, holding it down. Sorry, been loving your videos. New teaser with a small account. Thanks for the time and tips. Hey, no problem, man. You're making good use of your time in lockdown if you're learning lots of shit here. So GU looks like it's going to be a move up. Yeah, so I think GU, EU, this is my prediction. GU, EU, AU, they're all going to move up after the NFP. So I think it's going to create some volatility. It's going to wick down. I think it's going to wick down, create some liquidity. And then it's going to go up. That's just my guess. So I'm not completely sure. It's going to be some weird old wick like that and then go up. But we're not completely sure, right? So I'm not really going to bet anything beforehand. I'm just going to wait and then see what happens after the NFP is released. And I'll just talk you kind of through some of the logic. So here's another trade that I've actually entered on because these aren't USD pairs. And this one kind of contradicts the other one, so it's fine that I have 2 different pairs running. I'm long on EG and I'm short on EJ, and that's kind of fine. They're just showing completely 2 different things. This one's a little bit more flat, and you can see that we've come down here on the hourly, and this is a previous order block after creating now what we would call an uptrend, you know, because we're breaking our levels. Oh, it's so dead quiet if I don't have the fan on. Let me turn the fan on. Okay. I just get like a little paranoid when it's like dead quiet and I'm talking, so I gotta turn the fan on now because I'm used to having that AC running. Okay, hopefully that makes me like a little less paranoid or something. It's probably all the freaking drugs. Okay, making me so paranoid. So we've broken up this trend now. We're back into an uptrend, and we're creating these higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and it's basically very consistent, right? So when we had this low created here, it came back down and tested that low order block, the demand zone, right? Same idea here, perfect little kiss, and it came back up, and then you see it breaking the slight downtrend. This is obviously some sort of bull flag, right? And after we're sweeping these lows here, sweep down, perfect little kiss of the box of the order block, the higher time frame order block, and then a strong rally off of that point. And we're not spending much time down there at all. So after we've broken this level, that's just when I decided it's a good time to get long, good time to any, so it's time to get long there. Now, our hedge. What's up, Danny Kingston? I see you comment on all my on all the other commenters there, making fun of them for liking Jeremy Cash. Shit's funny, man. So here, EJ, this one's a bit stronger. I'm super bearish on this one, actually. I'm rather confident. So it's just an unbelievable downtrend, right? And you can see it on every single time frame that it's a downtrend, basically. So that gives us huge confirmation, huge bias to be shorting, right? We wouldn't want to long this, and the only thing that's making me want to long this is that I marked out the 2017 lows here. We gave a kiss of that, swept this slightly so that we could get some liquidity in there. And oh, the sound's much better. Yeah, you know what, man? It's because the freaking new computer I got. It's not the damn microphone. Everyone was saying I need to change my settings. I need to fix the microphone. It was the damn CPU. Look at this. Look at this. I'm so happy, dude. I'm streaming and it's only like 30%. I got tons of shit running. I got 4 MT4s running and I'm streaming. Before it was locked out at 100%, just keeping the stream open. Alright, sweet. Okay, fuck, I get distracted. Okay, so we came back up, and there was a couple possible order blocks that we could have tested here on this rally, basically after we bounced off of the 17 lows. So the 17 lows could be a major reversal point for us, but we're not really too interested in that, because most likely it's not just going to go like this, right? Boom, right? It's gonna come down. It's gonna bounce off. It's gonna reject off this shit. It's gonna bounce. It's gonna do some stuff like that, right? And then it's gonna go. So that's 9 times out of 10 how a reversal will happen is it'll kind of consolidate, accumulate, and then reverse, right? So possible zones that we were looking for were obviously this zone right here, which it didn't reverse on, but it gave a perfect kiss on this supply zone, which is also an untested supply zone, right? So we had 2 untested zones. So when we look at the smaller time frame here, we see previous high, sweeping of the highs, retest, a perfect little head and shoulder shape. A lot of people like to draw those, right? And then we break down and we break the trend, right? We break down very strong, and then we come back up, and we're literally, all we're doing is doing the exact same thing, testing those untested supply zones, and then wicking above that range, and then what looks like it's going to be a dump down, right? It's not necessarily confirmed until the trade is done, but that was actually a close down. So this is a trend change, in my opinion. Right, so that's a confirmation that we're actually going to break the trend to the downside. So that's when we got short, just on a little retrace. All right. You bought from the low? From here on EJ, you bought there? That'd be impressive, dude. If you could buy that. Most likely this is actually going to rally up. I would say on the larger time frame, you could be quite... I mean, I'm not completely sure. It could go a little bit lower, but that seems pretty good. Like 2017 lows, we swept it, and then we came back inside rather quickly. I'd be happy to see this coming back up. Let's see what the weekly... It will kind of depend, I guess, how the weekly closes too. And then we could totally see quite a bit of a rally on the Euro JPY here. Alright. What's going on? What's going on here? Okay. USD definitely going down. USD CAD definitely going down. Yeah, I would be quite bearish on this. Oh crap, I totally missed the entry too. Okay, so I'll explain to you guys here. I had this this supply zone drawn out here, and it's just based off of the hourly order block, right? I just based it off of the hourly order block. So you can see there. Major downswing. It's going to be hard to rally off of that anytime soon. And then I saw this, right? Early in the night, London session. It didn't quite touch it. So I wasn't happy with shorting there. And I wasn't happy on shorting on the retest or anything like that. I wanted to make sure that it came up to the purple zone. And the only reason I haven't shorted that is because I didn't want it to interfere with NFP. I didn't want to be in a trade with the US dollars during NFP, but most likely, I think you're right. I think this will come down, but I think the NFP can just do something crazy and then completely screw you out of your position. Looks like EJ might actually screw us, but that's fine. That's fine. I mean, this is a good trade either way. You're trading the trend, and you got so many confirmations that people are getting stopped out. You got wicks here, you got wicks here. It's such a strong trade that I would be perfectly fine if I got stopped out of there. I really don't care if I get stopped out of this one, because I know that this is an amazing trade to take. It's a really smart trade. Can you look at GJ? Yeah, I'll look at GJ. What computer am I using? So I got an I built it myself. It's a Ryzen 7 3700 series, 32 gigabyte of RAM, and a solid state drive. Yeah. Let's look at GJ. I honestly haven't really been looking at anything except for the US dollar pairs mostly, and I haven't really traded at all this week. So this is going to be, I haven't looked at this honestly. So you just got to give me a second. Just give me a second here. Alright, so weekly levels I still think is going to come up to there. Yeah, okay, I remember what our bias was here. I told you guys that we would come back down, we would break that liquidity, which we did. And then we would test this box, and it's going to be a matter of this one or this one. And then we're going to come up here. Right? So that's what I told you guys before. And we did come down, we did test that liquidity, we broke it. We can get rid of that now. That's garbage to us. We don't need all those lines anymore, those big ones at least. These ones I don't care about. And look at this. Just at the bottom of the box. Let me just draw this out. Right, something like that, I think. Okay. Now honestly, it doesn't look too bullish. That's the thing. I don't see any reason to be bullish about this, unfortunately. I think we're going to come down for another leg, and I think most likely the point that you're going to have to watch is obviously here, and then this one here too, right? So it could come up here and just wick above and then come down. That could be something that would happen, because that would be a really funny way for the market makers to screw you over, thinking everyone's going to short here, and then it would just wick up to there and then go down. So if it's funny, it's probably going to happen. I think that's probably a good trading strategy. If it's funny, it'll probably happen. Do you place trades on TradingView or MT4? No, I got MT4 on my third monitor over here, and then I got the stream on the middle one, and then I got my trades on the right here. So when I'm looking over here, I'm looking at like trades running. Euro NZD. Yeah, we can look at Euro NZD. Euro JPY. We just looked at Euro JPY. I think it's gonna go down, but it looks like we're wrong. Maybe. I mean, that one candle doesn't like it. Euro NZD. And NFP is in 20 minutes, so we're gonna start talking about the NFP in a second here, because something might happen. All right. Oh, this is a little bit. I don't know. What do you guys think? You think it's gonna break here? This one? Do you think it's gonna break it? I think so. We drew this purple line here before, and I forget why. Oh, it's those previous lows. So I think most likely it's gonna hit those previous lows, stop people out, and then come back up for a rally, and then come to there, right? Something like this. Yeah. That's pretty obvious to me, actually. There's no point in shorting this, and there's no point in longing it yet. If you see, if you see solid sweeps like this, and then come back up quickly, and start closing and changing trend on the lower time frames, that's going to be a really good indication that you can long up here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to send a ping on there, so that I can remember it for next week, just in case. So unfortunately, it looks like both of these are kind of going underwater now, but that's okay. This one's not as good of a trade. Euro JPY is a much better trade. This one's like probably one of the better trades I would take. The only thing that would make it like really good would be if the manipulation, so this was the early day manipulation, if that was actually to the upside, that would make it better. Why? Because then we could stop out people and then continue back into the major trend. This is a little bit odd for me, because I like to see the manipulation go against the trend at the beginning of the day, and then go back into the trend. So this kind of is confirming with this. So this is an uptrend. We manipulate to the downside and then come up. But it's not super important. But that is something to keep an eye on, right? All right. What is NFP? Yeah, non-farm payroll. Sweet, man. Really OP. Been using. All right, so NFP, guys. NFP. Yeah, so there's a forecast for the NFP. You know, honestly, we're not going to talk about fundamentals. I really don't give a shit about fundamentals. We're going to talk about what you look on the chart, okay? So we got NFP in 15 minutes, and I don't have anything that's going to be able to tell me quick enough that I'm actually going to be able to react to it, right? And there's a couple ways you can trade NFP. First of all, let's look at the 5 minute here, right? Let's look at the 5 minute. Look at that. I'm glad we didn't take that. That would have stopped out. Sweet. That would have stopped out. Okay. So there's a couple strategies you can take with NFP. The first one is to be a breakout trader. And that's not how I like to trade. But I do know somebody who does trade breakouts on NFP. And he does it very well. And he has about an 80% win rate on it. And his winners are probably about equal to his losers. And he basically waits for NFP each month and he just trades NFP. So what he does is he defines some sort of range here. So it created a range on Euro USD, and then what he does is he says, okay, if it breaks above here, we know that it's going to go for another 10 pips, right? And if it breaks below here, we know it's going to go down for another like 10 pips, right? So that's basically what he says. So what he does is he puts a breakout trade stop order here, and then he takes his profit 10 to 15 pips away, so here to here, right? Every single time. So that would be the next range out. That's what he does, basically. And you know what? You can try it, but you have to be very fast, right? This one would be like 7 or something. You have to be very fast, and I'm not very good at it, and I wouldn't recommend doing something like that because it is difficult. But he does it somehow. Okay. The next thing you can do is you can basically just use it as the same way that we would normally trade. So if we saw this was a previous low, right, we can basically just go to the 1 minute and say, okay, for example, this was the 1 minute. This was pre-NFP. Let's say NFP happened right here, right? And then it dumped down. It stopped people out right there and then started reversing again. What you could do is you could do a mean reversion, right? So then you could find, determine your entry and then just do a mean reversion. This would be a little bit safer, in my opinion, a little bit smarter way to trade, and then all the way back to where the NFP started, right? That's another way you can do it. The third way you can do it is to just wait for the trend to be established. So what it'll probably do, and it doesn't always do it, so if it does nothing today, don't blame me. Sometimes the NFP basically does nothing. But a lot of the time, it'll kind of just spike both directions, and then it'll go one direction. And you can basically just use that as your trade, right? Something like that or whatever. And then just trade the trend for the rest of the session. So there's basically 3 ways you can trade the NFP. And I do not do the breakout trading. I'm just going to watch it and see what happens, right? Because I don't like to do things quickly. That makes me very emotional, right? If you're long on EU, I suggest you close your long unless it's a swing trade. I would close it right now and then reopen it in 10 minutes, depending on what happens, depending on where your stop is. If your stop is anywhere that you can see on screen, close it. All right, that's what I would say. Okay, so UCAD. This one is always the most aggressive. So what I think we'll do is we'll look at UCAD and we'll look at EU when it does release. Oh, you got 15 lots on GU. Okay, man. Shit, that's nuts. So the markets drop faster than they rise. I think. U-Swiss, man. It's just bearish shit. Look at this. Looks bearish to me right now. Hey, kitty. That looks pretty bearish to me, honestly. Euro USD looks bullish. U-Swiss looks bearish. They're always like basically breakdown opposites of each other, right? That looks pretty bearish to me. We've been talking about how we have nowhere left to go on the higher time frame. I guess we haven't been talking about this for a lot of you guys. This was all from people who like have been here for weeks, because we used to talk about how we have nowhere left to go on the upside for U-Swiss. We've already swept those stops. We're coming back down. I have nothing that I want to see to the upside really necessarily. So I'm happy to come down. That being said, I don't really have a whole lot to see on the bottom side either. We're just kind of ranging, creating this spiraling thing. But for right now, you could short it back down to here, really, right? Because that's the untested area. That would be the higher time frame bias right now. Right, take those shorts all the way back down to here. But yeah, anyways, we got about 10 minutes here. Stairs up, elevator down. I think that shit applies to stock market more and like Bitcoin more than it does Forex, because Forex is just like stairs or elevator in both directions, because it doesn't give a fuck. It's just currency. Oh, it's a swing trade, eh? Okay, yeah, you have nothing to worry about NFP then. You can use NFP for like fundamentals too, but trading it like live here, we'll see how it goes. I'm not very good at trading the news, but I'll just give you guys my insights when it does happen here, of like what I think can happen. And I generally just don't even really trade the news unless I see like a really good setup, right? And usually it's just over so quickly. NFP is like the only one that actually I pay attention to, just because it lasts for so long, right? It does its spike thing, and then it does something for the next like 30 minutes to an hour or whatever, of just higher volume. So we might be able to actually do something on it. You also have 15 on UCAD. We'll post on Discord. I'm up 100 pips on UCAD, so should I close it before the news? If you're up 100 pips, then your news won't affect it. NFP, you can expect up to 20 pips, I would say. So that's why I said anywhere on the screen. If your stop is anywhere on the screen, I would close it, because it's like 20 pips, right? That's 20. I wouldn't expect more than 20 in either direction. Usually what it'll do is it'll come down like 10 or something, and then it'll go up like 15, right? So it'll do like boop, boop, like that, something like that. Usually, that's kind of my experience. You know, it doesn't always do anything though, right? Could be wrong. Can you sell Euro USD? I would wait, my man. Wait another 10 minutes. You doing Forex saying that you should do stocks? Me doing stocks saying I should do Forex? Nah, man, you shouldn't do stocks. I was just saying like that statement, elevator statement, is for stocks. I wouldn't touch stocks personally, but some people like them. There's just a lot of problems with stocks, like once you actually have like a lot of volume to trade with, and they're like a lot more manipulated. Forex is just a lot cleaner. Once you understand the manipulation, you actually won't get screwed by it anymore. Once you actually know how to trade with the manipulation, whereas stocks is just like you're gonna get screwed no matter what. Really gonna get screwed no matter what. Alright, sweet. I have 8 minutes left here. Still NFP. I probably won't even look at like this thing updates so slowly that it doesn't matter. But we can see, you know, unemployment rate for the USD, non-farm payroll for the USD, our average hourly earnings for the USD, and then we have employment change. So this is why UCAD is going to be the most volatile because we have two pairs that are literally being released on news at the same time. So this one just goes wacky because sometimes USD could be bullish and the CAD could also be bullish, and so they could just do nothing, or they could be bearish and bullish, and then it would be even more extreme, right? It's just a little bit wonkier. But I don't know how some people just predict where it will go. You think USD will rise? Well, my prediction is based off of just the trend. So I think for this week, what did the USD do? USD went up, right? So usually in NFP week, so we started down here and we ended up here. Usually NFP will change the trend of the Dixie. And I actually marked out back a bit ago each first of the month. Actually, it was funny like that, or it was like each NFP changed the direction for like the long term. I completely forget. I forget where it was. Where's this? April 20. Oh, screw it, man. I don't want to look all the way back, but I had just noticed something like that. Every single NFP changed the trend for the next week. So we'll just keep an eye and see if it does something similar, right? So what was the trend this week on EU? Down, right? So we would think that the next week would be back up after NFP, right? Just something I noticed. Small lot size for NFP. 0. Yeah, you can't do that small, man. 6 lots on EJ sell. Oh, I hope you didn't take my advice, dude. If you took my advice, then you're probably wrong, because I'm wrong 100% of the time. What trades do I have opened? You should have been here earlier, man. I told you what trades I have opened. I have these two opened. Ba-ba. And da-da. Right. Should do my own sound effects for entering and exiting trades. What do I think about gold? I think it's a rare metal that's very valuable, used for certain things like electronics and jewelry. I think it'll dump, honestly. You see this? We swept the highest here. I think it'll come down. I think it's a decent time to short, but not the best. I would stay out of it for the next 5 minutes, though. Stay out of it, man. Gold does some crazy stuff, too. Gold does some crazy stuff because it's also a US dollar pair. And gold itself also reacts based off of the NFP results itself, right? So... yeah. EJ like doesn't look very smart anymore, but doesn't look smart anymore. I might actually look and see if I want to close it out here early. I think I put the stop slightly too wide. Maybe. I'll just leave it. It's a smaller trade even. What about cable? Cable, man. It's probably the same shit, honestly. Hold up. Alright, so... we still have this daily base I've been talking about for freaking weeks, right? So long term, I'm bullish, right? I still need to touch that daily base, this one. This wick, you know, that's kind of bullish, but it doesn't really mean shit, honestly. We came back down, retested this order block perfectly. Let me draw again. Another one, boom, another test of order block perfectly. Let's draw another one. Bullish order block, perfectly tested, right? That order block there. So we're just climbing nice and easy. We didn't sweep anything here. I actually drew a line. You can see that that is actually not bearish in the slightest. That double top is not bearish. If it was slightly longer, it would be bearish. 3 minutes until NFP. And now, what do we see? Well, if it closes above here, that would be awesome for the bulls, right? Close above that level. That's that base, right? Right here, then, and then here, hold on. Targets. That's a clean target right there. That's a really clean target if we can get a long in. Mind you, the long position, we'd have to get a pretty good setup here. But that being said, NFP might do something where it actually wicks up to here and then comes back down, stopping everyone out there. It might be perfect. Could do something like that. We don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas for now, right? Just throwing out those ideas, and then we can get a decent idea of what's going on. What time frame do I take my trades on? I use all of them, dude. I use everything you can see here. I enter my trades generally based off of the 5 or 15 minute, though, to answer your question better. Generally off of those ones. Alright, let's do this. Okay, 1 hour. Let's put the 1 hour here so we can see 1 hour levels, right? 1 hour levels of possible places we could wick to. Right here, maybe right here, down here. You know, those are possible areas. And then let's put the 5 minute. Let's do 5 minute. Sounds good to me. So we're going to start picking up a little bit of volume here. We got about 40 seconds here to NFP. Yeah, EJ just wicked up, actually. I'm glad I didn't move my stop, because if it goes down now, it would have been like 0.1 pip off from my stop. That would be pretty sweet. But what's up with the spread? Holy crap, man. The spreads are widening. What the shit? Yeah, I just got stopped out from my entry position because of the spread. That doesn't make any sense. For EJ. Okay, NFP is just released now. Let's see what it does. See if it does anything even. So the euro is moving up for some reason on EJ. Okay, so I don't do any of this really fast reacting shit. We're just gonna watch it right now, right? So what did we see? We see sweeping of these stops here and closing back within. See here? If we close below this, I'd be pretty happy on getting a short there. We swept those stops. I'm kind of upset about this. That entire position got stopped out by a spread because the spreads widened and then stopped everybody out. That's kind of annoying. That entire trade, the price was here and the spread went above. Fucking shit. That's annoying, dude. This is why you don't trade news. Alright. So you see how this works, where you just stop those people out, and then so we pump to the upside, stop them out. This is what I was saying. It would go one direction and then it would go the other direction, like 10-15 pips, right? So let's look. If you went up here about 10, right? Not even 10 really, right? Basically just enough to get people stopped out. And then from there, about 10 to 15 pips. And then look at this, we're actually stopping people out on both sides. It's beautiful how that works, right? Alright, so you just made 1.5k on the euro cells. That's pretty sweet, man. So you CAD. UCAD didn't go as crazy as the Euro. For some reason, the Euro is going a little bit nuttier. This one's a little more clean of like what NFP normally does. Yeah, EJ just flew, which is kind of unfortunate. That kind of unfortunate. But that's okay. We're gonna take a slight loss this week. I'm basically gonna be done trading after this, and usually I don't take any trades on NFP anyways. I think yeah, look here. This is the challenge account. Challenge account down 1% this week. I mean, unless Euro Pound does something, right? This is solid though. This is actually really good price action. If anyone wanted to jump in on this, this would actually be a really good time. Like a really good time. Because partially I already had that bias, and then you see something crazy like this. Freaking, the thing keeps popping up. Can you just go away? Gosh. Alright, you see that on the 1 minute? Now where's the untested order block, right? So this stopped out everyone that was below here and here. So nice, perfect stops. And then it tested this order block. You see? So that was where the smart money was sitting. That's where the smart traders had their orders, right? So this would be a really good time to enter if you were also long bias, right? If you think I'm stupid and you think this is a bad trade, like honestly, don't follow these trades blindly. If you think this is a bad trade, don't enter, right? But this is just more confirmation that that long is now going to go well, right? You can also wait to see how the 5 minute reacts here, because if this 5 minute closes below, which has got another 20 seconds, then it might not be wise to enter. See? Might not be wise. I don't know for sure. It just lowers your probability, right? Because everything is probability in this game. All right. So I'm already in that trade, so I'm gonna leave it going for different reasons, but there you go. I think it closed above. So now we have a pretty good chance. It's a pretty good chance that that trade is going to go the way we want it, right? Close above there. Okay, so let's look at EU. Before going, please, and the NASDAQ. You don't want me to look at the stock market all the time, man. The stock market's always the same. Let's keep looking at... what happened to EU? Yeah, so look at this. Alright, so I actually thought it would come up more, but the trend might change the other way here. So what's our option here, guys? What's our option? 5 minute. Isn't this beautiful? Like, this is kind of the thing that, like, makes me giddy now. Like, I don't get giddy over, like, you know, I don't know. What do people get giddy over? I don't even know what people get happy over. Like, what? What's something that, like, people get happy from? I don't even know what people get happy from anymore. Just because trading is happiness. Come on, chair. Okay. Account blown. GG. Oh, did I call this? I didn't call it. Wait. It's not even close to what I called. You dick. I guess it's like kind of like if I just move this, then it looks like I called it. See? Boom. Perfect. I like kind of called it in a sense. Like, you see the sweep and then it breaks down. Alright, so Euro USD, man. This is the kind of shit like just makes me happy. Okay, so now we have that mean retracement, right? So I talked about the breakout, and then you take the short scalp, and then there's the mean retracement, which now is the mean retracement. right? So you take the short, or you take the long back to the mean, and then now you can take it for a trend trade, maybe. How does that make sense? Does that make sense? So I told you 3 possible strategies you can do. I told you 3 possible strategies you can do during NFP, and I think we're going to see all 3 of them. So we see the fake out. Actually, no, the first one I told you was like, okay. I think I told you guys kind of different though. You can do like the breakout and then take a 10 pip profit, or you can look for the fake out and then the other way here, right? The reversal, or the mean reversion, or the trend trade afterwards. So there's actually 4 things you can do. I got confused. There's 4. But the breakout thing didn't work super well. Did it? I don't know. I don't do the breakout thing. I was just kind of passing along some knowledge that I don't actually know how to do the breakout thing. So this would be maybe a decent trade for the rest of the day. To those lows, just a decent trade. Nothing crazy, like one, not even 2R. So it might not be that good. I'm not even confident to take it, honestly. Let's see here. Let me just read something here. So where was this where I wanted to long from earlier? When I started the stream, that was exactly where I wanted to long from, right there, wasn't it? I pulled that order though, because of the NFP. That was the trade right there. Right? I think it'll come down more. I'm not completely sure. So you guys can just use this to kind of be a spark for the rest of the day trend now, because there's not a whole lot left going on in NFP. It did its like spiking around like fuckery. Most likely the best trade would be to look for a short here. Simply because, you know, we have that major trend. We've come back up. We've basically broken those stops and started to break down. This is just really good confirmation that we swept those stops. There's not much buyers in town. So most likely, if you could look for a short and then just short it down to these lows. That's how I'd end the day. I don't think it'll get all the way down here by the end of the day, but it could. That's just my opinion, guys. I mean, obviously take your own logic into it as well. It was collecting smart money liquidity. Max, see? Welcome. Haven't seen Max. Hold the withdrawal, guys. Not begging, just wilding, bro. Why did it do that? S&P. Yeah, let's look at the S&P or the NASDAQ, whatever. I don't think it's done anything different, guys. I'm still in the exact same boat, I think. The NASDAQ is way more bullish than the S&P because it's tech stocks, and tech stocks are the only things doing well right now in, like, uncertainty. Because you got things like Netflix, you got things like Amazon, where those, like, just don't... They're not really affected the same way that, like, you know... Booster juice would be expected or affected, or like gyms, dude. You're trying to remind me of Seth Rogen. Why, man? everyone says I'm like Seth Rogen, and it's funny, man. Seth Rogen grew up like a few blocks from me. Seth Rogen like grew up like right by where I am. Okay, so the S&P itself, it's still just rejecting off this major order block, right? It's a weekly order block? No, dailies. Drew it a bit wrong, but it should be going to here. I think it just fell a little bit shy, and it should come up for another little wick, right? That's my guess, and then it'll reject off of there. I think I drew it a little bit wrong. For here, the Nasdaq's just been crazy strong, actually. I wasn't expecting this much bullishness out of it, but it basically completely depends on the rest of the stock market, too. The fundamental aspect, I'm not completely sure, because a lot of things... Oh, do his laugh. No, man. That'd be so funny, man. I've done it before by like accident, and people said that I even sounded like him. Yeah, I don't know like fundamentals. The fundamentals are so like up in the air, and I have no idea how to predict them, because things here are going back to normal. Like restaurants are opening and stuff again. So if everything goes back to normal, then we won't even see another drop. And I just have no way of predicting whether or not things are going to go back to normal, because, you know, I don't do that much research into it. I'm not that smart about it. I've done all my work on the TA side of things, that I don't know anything about fundamentals. So you can only really be like good at one of the things at a time, probably. Yeah, look at this. Looks like it's going to reject. Right, we didn't hit that though. So it could come up here and go higher. Check the Japan stock market. No way, dude. It's the same shit. Japan 225. Is that the one? Stock. Japan. Oh wait, CFDs rather. Japan. There it is. Dude, it's the same shit, isn't it? I mean, it's not the same shit. They got freaking destroyed in comparison. But here's your order block, right? Like, I don't want to go too much detail into this, because like nobody really cares about the Japan stock market. Here's the order block that it should naturally reject off of, right? Until we touch this, I wouldn't look for shorts, right? And I wouldn't long it because you're in a bear market, right? Seth Rogen. You want my euro euro pound stop and take profit, man? Sounds like you want me to just tell you exactly what to do. Here you go. Oh, I deleted it. I don't know. Whoops. I deleted it, man. But now your stop would go here, I would think, right? Your stop would go there. And then I'm sure you can figure out how to take profit, man. You don't need me to do everything. But before, the stop was here, because that was where we rallied off of, right? That big old rally. So that if that level gets lost, then we know that we're going to continue a downtrend. But as of right now, we're in an uptrend, right? But now this was kind of a smaller time frame rally, so you're welcome to move your stop forward to there. Take profit, you can figure out yourself. You asked this question before. How do you know if you're really making money on a pair if that currency you're supposedly making money with is bearish in another pair? I don't know what that means, man. Pairs act differently. Each pair will act differently, right? Depending on what the correlating pair is. So you could be making money in multiple pairs. I could be bearish on this and bullish on this and make money on both. Because that's what I was, but I was actually wrong here. Which is fine. I don't know why the euro rallied, because I don't even think there's euro news. It was at 4. So this doesn't make any sense. Why the euro did anything. The euro shouldn't have done anything. So that's why I was in that trade, because I knew it wouldn't do anything, but I guess the markets are kind of irrational, so that's fine. We lost 1% on that, so he means correlation. Yeah, so there's like, there's different correlation. You can look up the correlated pairs. The best way to just keep them correlated, in my opinion, is keep them correlated to the US dollar pairs. So the US dollar pairs have the most strength. So if you want to be, let's say if you want to be long on the Euro Swiss, I would make sure that the Euro USD is also bullish. And then if it is, you could be more you could have more confirmation that that pair is actually going to go up. If the Euro USD is bearish, then I would just take a lighter trade on Euro Swiss. That's all you really need to worry about with correlated pairs. The rest of them, like, they don't matter that much. They're not that strong, right? Maybe E pound is quite strong because it's 2 strong pairs, but that's just how I would do it. Because if you're correlating all the pairs, you're just adding confusion. Donald Dump is speaking. Is he speaking? Do we have a link? See what happens here. Alright. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm just reading something. So this is still going down, guys. Kind of like we thought. I think this was actually a really good view of the NFP for today. So I'm happy that this kind of happened, because it basically did, 3 out of the 4 things I told you it could do. Right? It did it super quickly though. You can still trend trade this. But the thing is, you gotta watch here now, right? You gotta just watch the 1 minute. See how it's like sweeping here? Possibly you could just go long, right? You could go complete long here. It's really random a lot, is the weird thing. Right? So you just gotta watch the 1 minute. It'll seem random, but the 1 minute will give you so much value when you're trading these high volatility times, right? So now that we have this, obviously this is a possible reversal point, right? Right here. That's where I wanted to long before, wasn't it? In London session, that's where I wanted to long. So we could still long there. Up to where? Probably up to here. Probably up to here. But that'll be for next week, right? It's not a whole lot sitting around. I think gold long term is a sell before 1800. I'm not completely sure again, man. Like, gold is something that's kind of fundamental as well. So I'm not super good at fundamentals. In terms of long term, in just the TA, we're kind of all at highs, so it would be weird to be buying highs. You might as well wait for a dip. That's as simple as, if you wanted to buy gold, I would wait. Do you know any correlated between the Aussie and the New Zealand? Well, obviously the only correlated pairs are the Aussie and the New Zealand, right? So what I would do is, if you want to go long on the Aussie New Zealand, right, for example, then make sure that the Aussie dollar looks more bearish than the Kiwi dollar, right? It's as simple as that. So you can see, just at first glance, you see that this is a much stronger uptrend and this is a bit flatter, right? So obviously, like, you could just use something as simple as that to be added confirmation, and then that makes sense why, you know, this is way more bullish, right? But they basically go hand in hand all the time. Just compare to them to the dollar pairs. I'm new to your channel, already told all my trade friends about you. We like your savage. Thanks, man. Yeah, we're kind of rude sometimes. Like, people don't really like it, and we're probably gonna scare away a lot of people, but then they're gonna miss out on, like, probably some of the best Forex knowledge they'll ever find on YouTube. So clicking the like button adds margin to your account. It does everything, man. Clicking the like button. Thanks, Adam. Did you do well in NFP? Did anybody make money trading the NFP today? Did anybody make money? Did anyone lose money in the NFP? Like just trying to trade the noose, not like getting stopped out. Like, I had this trade open and it just stopped out. Did anybody like actually trade it and then make money? How do you read a 1 minute chart? The same way you read every other chart, man. It just happens a lot faster. It's literally the exact same, especially in Forex. Forex is, they got so many people trading it that, you know, I literally told you guys this 10 seconds ago, right? Not 10 seconds ago, but 1, 2, 3 minutes ago, that this was going to go up now, right? Why did I know that? Because it's the exact same pattern on the 1 minute that it is on the hourly, right? Down here. See that? It's the exact same thing. Boop, boop. It's the exact same thing. It's gonna do the same thing, because people are creatures of habit, eh? Yeah, you're swing trading 1.2 pounds. You made. You made 1.2 pounds. Nice, dude. A correlation is used the best part CAD and crude oil. Yeah, Canadian dollar goes well with oil. I lose 7 USD today. John the Boss 1.0. Yeah, I would suggest you could just play around it with the NFP every month. See what you can do with 0.1 lot. I personally don't even like to trade it anymore, but 226 profit. Nice. Damn, dude. Turn 2500. UJ, nice profit. Did UJ do anything for the NFP here? Woof. Damn. You guys are just starting to talk about UJ now? Look at this. Double stop hunt, right? It's a double stop hunt. Back to this order block. That one right there. Oh shit, this one right here. See that? Holy crap. I wouldn't jump in on that though. Okay, I think I'm basically gonna call it here. Do I give out signals? Nah, not really, man. I post like my trade ideas, but they're not signals. I posted today. I posted this and this, but I don't really make signals, man. It's just a free group if you want to join it. You have to ignore like a lot of the shit talk. An order block is just like a block, like a time block where price basically was consolidating. So this is an order block where there was a bunch of orders. I don't know exactly how you want to describe it, but in that time period, it was just ranging. So it's a block of orders that it's coming back to retest to make sure that block is still acting as support, right? That's kind of a simple way to put it. I don't know if there's like a more technical term for it or a way to explain it. But that's an order block, right? Here would be an order block, right? Can I analyze GA? I'll quickly look at GA, man, and then I'm going to call it a day. I'll just quickly look at this. All right, so we were in this downtrend. We were talking about how this is an SR flip, right? And we wanted to come back and retest it, right? So now we're retesting those lows once again. Let's look at the higher time frame. See what the higher time frame tells us. Well, most likely it'll dip down even lower, actually. There's no reason to be bullish on this yet. It's possible. I would watch to see how it reacts. If it just comes back in within really quickly, then it's possible that we could come up, like if it goes down and like this, right? But most likely this is going to come down. And then next week we'll just continue to short it if you wanted to short that. Don't fight the trend, man. That's such a strong trend. Just look for retraces and then shorts. Alright. Haha, bro, you call yourself a pro? Show me some verified results? Nah, dude. I don't do that. It takes away from the education experience. That is something that I will never show. I will never brag about profits. I will never brag about the cars and stuff that I have. Which I don't actually have cars, just so you guys are clear. I have a Mazda. I honestly, I'm not rich or anything. I just do this full time. I live well. That's all you guys need to know. I live well in an expensive city. And I won't show profit logs. I think I have in the past, and I think it takes away from the authenticity. And it just basically makes me look like a scammer, just like every other YouTuber. So it's not something I'm ever going to do. So if you want to see somebody making a lot of money, I'm sure there's lots of other YouTubers that can do that for you. I'm here to teach people. Okay? That being said, I'm going to call it here. Make sure to like the video so that you can increase your win rate. I'll see you guys next week.